Men have the privilege of like walk into our car, head in our phone, unlock the car, get in the car, mess around on the phone a little more, play with the radio, do whatever, not even lock the doors. And women are like have to be hyper vigilant. And it's just a different experience for women.
Take the lead, yeah, we taking charge. Mom and dad, the matriarch and patriarch, that's gonna have to do its part. Damn, my family got my heart, 100 exclamation marks. You know I'ma raise the bar.
What is up? Welcome to the Raise the Bar podcast. My name is Bret Green. This is my lovely wife, Marlene Green.
Hello.
Shout out to you for hooking me up with this matching jumpsuit.
You're
and
welcome.
Apparently you are doing the same thing. We're complimenting each other.
Day.
No, we're complimenting each other nice though. You get this nice pink thing going on. I got the all black.
I love it. We're wearing our favorite colors.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you're new to the podcast, we are raising the bar on parenting and relationships and just everything.
Yeah.
Just raise it up. And we're just trying to be better. We just moved recently from Los Angeles to Nashville, so we are figuring it all out. And we found this is a fun way for husband and wife to catch up at the end of the day after a long day of raising kids. We have a 4.5-year-old daughter and a 14-month-old son. So good to see you. I feel like the day goes by sometimes.
How
and I'm just,
are you?
How the hell
Did
are
you
you
have a good day?
Yeah. Let's chat about it. So I tonight.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the topic? By the way, we never know the topic.
She loves to mention that.
Because I find that fascinating that like I have no clue what we're gonna talk about.
Well, I did a little bit of a switch up tonight. I had a topic that I wanted to talk about, and then we watched Love Is Blind the other night.
Yes.
And it just kind of brought something up for me. So the topic tonight is I, as a man, would love to dive into the female experience a little more.
Oh. The
right?
female experience in like what direction? There's
a
lot of directions we could go.
And we got about 25 minutes to do it. So I wanted to talk about, so like what kind of brought this like up for me, right, was we were talking the other night and we were watching Love Is Blind, and there was one contestant on there. You don't have to know the show to understand kind of where we're going with this. One of the contestants clearly was not into the girl that he got. Whether it was she wasn't his type or they just didn't vibe in person or whatever the case may be. And we're watching this and I was like, what is happening here? Like, this guy just seems like he's just too big of a pussy to just tell this girl like, hey, I'm not feeling you.
Right.
I think we should break up.
Yeah.
I don't think we should, because she'd be like, are you not attracted to me?
Like the whole time.
The whole time.
And since the beginning.
He'd be like, no. No, you're so beautiful. No, and just get like kind of defensive. And you're like, oh, this is just like
classic.
Every man ever.
I mean, not every man ever, but I mean, it's pretty standard, I suppose, that a lot of the times, like, if a girl likes a guy and then like he's kind of like checked out, like you can just tell. And so then you ask them and you're like, so like just be an honest person. And like that's really hard for men for some reason, to be honest. Like they just like don't know. They're always like, well, I'm worried I'm gonna hurt your feelings. What you're doing now will hurt my feelings more later on than if you just tell me the truth. And also, like, don't tell me you're a man if you don't know how to be honest. Like, to me, like, I feel that you don't get to call yourself a grown-ass man that can handle their shit and is good on all fronts if you can't be honest. Because, like, if you can't be honest, then you're a fucking pussy, because then you're afraid of like the truth and what that's going to do, then you're a fucking pussy.
So I agree. And I get it to a certain extent where like there is this element of like, you know, breaking up with somebody's tough, or telling somebody
yes.
It's hard.
Yes, it is so
telling
hard.
somebody I'm not that into you, especially on a show like Love Is Blind, where you have this crazy connection and not knowing what they look like. And then to find out like, oh, I'm usually into brunettes and she's blonde, or whatever the case is. That must be so hard.
In every situation, no matter how long you've been with the person or anything, how you met, anything, it is hard to break up.
Or in that same vein of like physical appearance, like, I don't know, let's say you've been dating somebody for like 5-6 months, they suddenly gain 30 pounds, and now you're like, oh, I feel really like I feel so bad. I'm just not attracted to them anymore. Do I tell them that like it's tough. It's superficial. It's not a reason to like break up with somebody. But if you decide that's what you want to do, then you gotta just do it.
Yeah.
And so that is one element of it, of like the female experience, trying to figure out like why is it, and I'm sure some women do it too, but like why is it that men do this? Like they kind of, not to be like buzzwordy, but they kind of like gaslight women into being like, no, like you're my girl, I love you so much, and then they're out like cheating on them, or just like just leading them on, stretching it out for way longer than it needs to go.
Yeah.
And I don't,
it's really sad.
I don't know if that's like a lack of like respect for women. That seems a little bit too easy of a cop out, or like what that is. But to kind of pile on the whole like idea of like me wanting to understand like the female experience, right? Having a 4.5-year-old daughter, and us having now been married 6 years, I think I'm starting to understand the female experience like a little bit better.
Okay.
It's been extremely eye-opening for me. And so we talked about this the other night. I was, you and I started dating. I was just about to turn 30, and I had gone on a trip to Cuba. I went to Havana by myself, and I came back and I was like, babe, traveling by yourself is amazing. You don't got to check in with anybody. You do whatever you want. You should try it sometime. It's so cool. And you were like, yeah, no, women can't really do that. And I was like, what do you mean? I was so naive, and I just felt kind of embarrassed to look back on it and be like, wow, I was 30 years old and I didn't quite understand that traveling to a foreign country by yourself really isn't a possibility for women. You can do it, but it's a hell of a lot more dangerous.
There are so many women that do it. They are.
Bless them.
But I think the difference is that a woman that travels abroad or domestically, like by themselves, the level of like personal awareness is heightened.
Yeah, for
sure.
You
have to be so on top of every single situation, on where you are, who's following you, how are you getting places? Make sure you have your pepper spray or whatever, a birdie or whatever it is.
Don't let anyone know that you're there by yourself.
Yeah, like there's like all these levels of things that as a woman you have to make sure you're almost like your own personal security guard, which is incredibly exhausting.
I bet.
And so like there are a lot of women, and I applaud the women that do travel by themselves, because like I'm incredibly street smart, and I like really believe that I'm very aware of my surroundings based on like how I was raised. So like I could go somewhere by myself, but I just choose not to, because I don't know, it's just like not really my vibe anyways.
I would never want you. I mean, it'd be weird if you were gonna go somewhere. I'd be like, can I come?
Well, yeah,
like,
now obviously not.
But I would never want you, and even like our daughter, like as she gets older, it's like these are just things that as growing up as a boy and then becoming a man, like I think this is important for men to understand. Like you have different freedoms, and again, hate to use like a buzzword, but like you have this privilege as a man to like walk the streets and not be so alert all the time. Or we've even talked about like you going to a simple Target run. Yeah. And again, this was like maybe 6 months ago. I asked you, I was like, do you ever feel like when you go to like Target, do you ever feel like there's guys that are like in Target that are like checking you out, maybe even like kind of like following you a little bit? And you're like, yeah, all the time. And then I'm like, when you go to your car, are you like looking over your shoulder like to make sure they're not following you? You're like, yes, every single time. I have my keys in my hand. Like men have the privilege of like walking to our car, head in our phone, unlock the car, get in the car, mess around on the phone a little more, play with the radio, do whatever, not even lock the doors. Women are like have to be hyper vigilant. And it's just a different experience for
I mean,
women.
I'm definitely the second I get in that car, the door is locked. You know, I think I feel the most vulnerable when I'm with the kids, and especially, or I'm with like either one of them, but most vulnerable when I'm with both of them. Yeah. Because I always have to not be beside one of the kids' doors and the doors are unlocked. So like that makes me uncomfortable. And in the world that we live in now, unfortunately, there's a lot of things that happen during grocery store runs, sitting at a gas station. I mean, like I won't even pump my gas without you with us, or I will pump the gas without the kids in the car. It's the only time I will ever stop at a gas station.
I think you did the other day, because I got in the car and it was a full tank, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a surprise! That's a nice little surprise."
Yeah. I don't think our daughter was with us, but I did fill up the tank.
No, I know you wouldn't. You've made that pretty clear.
Yeah,
I'm not pumping gas.
No, not with my kids in the car. So, but yes, I did fill up. But I'll go by myself. I mean, I'm going to be 40. Like I can do things by myself. I'm self-aware. I know my surroundings. But my mom is always, I think because of the way that my mom was raised, like very, very street smart and from the Bronx, New York, in, you know, the 70s and 60s, like she's just very, very self-aware. And my mom, I mean, you know her, she is a no bullshitter. And so she raised me very much that way. And she taught me certain elements when I'm out and about by myself to make sure that I do. So when I'm out and I'm passing a stranger or a man, you look at him in the eye, because that's essentially you letting him know, I see you. So I know you're there. I'm not aware of what I'm doing around me, or I'm not aware that you're not approaching me. Looking over your shoulder about every 15 to 25 seconds you're walking by yourself. You know, it's like, that's not because of I'm paranoid. That is strictly because people can come up quickly behind you and you just never know. You know, there's a lot of things that I don't think men have to deal with on a regular basis, on like the nuances of normal little things that we do every day.
Well, I think too, like as a man, a lot of men have this idea of like I'm the protector, I'm the provider, I'm the this, I'm the that, and I think that's great, and I think that every man should have an element to them, especially if you've got kids. You're the you want to be like the leader of the family or the protector of the family, but I think it's also important for a family to have a mother. You know, in a relationship where there's a mother and a father, to have a mother who is street smart or who has kind of been through some shit, because you understand the dangers of kind of like being a woman in the world better than a man ever could. Even though a man could be like, I got to protect and I got to do this, like you can only understand it so much as a man without fully living it and going through it. Even like I posed a question on my Instagram the other day where I was just like, again, kind of a little bit embarrassing to have made it. I'm 38 now and have just having these realizations of like, oh, wow, you can't travel alone. You can't go for a run alone. You got to look over your shoulder when you're in Target. Or even just like more broadly, kind of realizing that a lot of men just don't, even like straight men, just don't even really like women that much. And so as a woman, you must be like kind of on alert and to be like, I don't know if these men have any respect from, and again, I don't want to generalize because I know some amazing men.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
There's amazing men and there's amazing women and there's shitty men and shitty women. I mean, it's just like, there's the double side of everything.
Yeah.
But you know what's really interesting, actually, just yesterday or the day before, I was in the grocery store with our daughter, and it was just her and I, and we were shopping, obviously, and she was in the cart. And oh, you know what? We were at Home Depot. Remember, we like separated, and I was with her by myself, and you were with our son.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a robot. I guess there's a robot that walks around.
We didn't find
Home Depot. We never found him. And he like checks the status of the like
inventory
on
Lowe's.
the shelves. Oh, Lowe's.
Lowe's has the robot.
Lowe's has the robot. Sorry. Anyways, off topic. Here we are. Back to the situation. So her and I are walking by ourselves. And there's a gentleman that walks into the store. And he's wearing a black baseball cap backwards and a black shirt. And
was it me?
It was not you. But I saw him, and I'm holding our daughter's hand, and I switch sides. I have her switch sides so she's not on the side of him when we're walking, but he's behind us. But he's kind of like, he's looking at me and he's looking at our daughter. And I'm just kind of like, I look at him so he knows I see him. And then we're continuing to walk, but he's walking behind us, right? But I'm like kind of walking, like I turn into an aisle. He's still walking. And then like I turn into another aisle, like, and I see him in the other aisle. Not like he was following us into that aisle, but I saw him. So then like I keep walking, and he gets closer to me, and he said, but where I'm standing and where I'm walking, he was like approaching the paint counter, and he was like, I'm sorry, I know I'm like trailing behind you, I don't mean to. And he's like, God bless, have a great day. And because he could tell that I was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you're kind of like, this is the third time I'm seeing you in this store. You were staring at us when you walked in. And like, he was just like confused on where to go. Yeah. But like, as a mom and as a woman, I'm like, I fucking see you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take that risk.
And get this. Just the other night, my mom and I went out to go see like a Santana thing, and we were leaving the theater. We left the theater early to go have a bite next door. And as we're walking out, there was a gentleman that approached us, and he was a young man, like maybe 18, 20 or so,
okay.
young, with a backpack on. And he goes, her and I were taking a picture. We had to like kind of cross the street to get the background of the picture we wanted. And the gentleman comes in, he goes, "Oh, ma'am. And my mom goes, "Yeah." And my mom puts her hand in front of me, right? I'm 40 years old. Okay. Well, I'm almost 40. My mom puts her hand in front of me, kind of like step back. And he goes, "Ma'am, can I ask you a question?" She said, "Yes, but don't you move." Like very aggressively. And he said, "Ma'am, may I approach and just say it?" And my mom said, "No, you can say what you have to say, right?" Like very aggressively. My mom, like her voice was like, "Back the fuck up." And the guy said, "Okay, ma'am, just want to say, do you know that God loves you?" And my mom was like, "Yes, thank you very much." And we turned around and walked away. And I think it was like a group of people that were like just like kind of talking to people along the streets, because we saw another group of them like
They were recruiting for
I
the
don't know
church
what
or
I
something?
have no idea. We literally didn't even stay long enough to have the conversation. But my point is that my mom, even with a younger kid, was still on the defense of like, back the fuck up, I'm with my daughter. And my mom said, she's like, if I wasn't with you, I would have like chatted up and been like, "Yes, God loves me, he loves you too," and like all this stuff, and been like, "What church are you?" Like my mom would have chatted up with him, but she immediately, because it was late, it was just us two, it was a man by himself, even as a young boy, she still felt this need to protect me. And it's just, it's wild. It's a wild world being a woman and feeling. And I remember being on high alert when I was pregnant. Let's talk about being on high alert when you're pregnant, because I feel like it is such a place of vulnerability, because you're like, not only are you protecting yourself, but you also have this sense of protecting your child. Granted, everybody is so nice.
I was gonna
and
say you
so
get a
helpful.
great treatment when
Oh
you're
my
pregnant.
gosh,
for
you
sure.
really do.
Everybody holds doors open.
Also, like, why can't everybody be that nice all the time? Like,
Right.
why does it take a pregnant person to like be that extra level of like generosity to strangers in public? But anyways, that I remember feeling very on high alert when I was pregnant, because I felt really vulnerable. I felt like I'm not going to fight back. You know, I mean, I would tooth and nail, but like I'd have to protect my child. I don't know. It's just like this level of like, it's scary. It's just scary.
Well, and also
sometimes being a
we
woman.
we live in God, I don't even know if I can say this anymore. I was gonna say we live in one of the safest countries in the world. I don't know if that's true anymore, but like, you know, we don't live in a country like you know, we're not in like a city like Dubai, where
Dubai's really safe.
no, but they don't respect women nearly as much as, I mean, I know
Well,
that
but that's
America's not
but,
like the best.
Yeah,
But
but that's not that's a cultural thing. I think.
doesn't matter though. I feel like it's still like when you go to a country, again, I'm having trouble because I'm not the best at this, but I know there are countries outside of the U.S. where they treat women very poorly. Muslim countries where they're expected to be covered up and seen and not heard and all that. Like,
Yeah.
imagine being a woman in one of those countries. It seems like a whole different set of challenges. You know, as a father now of a young girl and obviously a husband to a very beautiful woman, I feel like when we are out in public, people do stop us, or at least like we go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and we walk in and there were like 6 employees and every single one of them was like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey," and then they see the kids and they're like, "Hey, kid," and there we automatically kind of draw this attention because I don't know if we look approachable or if they just like see like cute little kids and they want to talk it up, which is cool. But I also sometimes don't like it because I just sometimes feel like it just, I don't know, it kind of lets you, it's an opportunity for you to like let your guard down just a little bit because people are being kind and giving compliments and being sweet. And then and then I'm like, I'm afraid to get too close to people, especially if they're a little older, because I'm like, please don't touch my kid.
Well,
I can just feel it coming from a mile away when someone's like, "Hey," especially old ladies, when they're like, "Oh, she's so cute. Come here." And you're like, don't put your hand away, lady. Don't touch my kid.
Yeah, we don't like people touching our kids.
Nobody
No one
does.
likes
Who
anyone touching
does?
their kids. No, I know. I just think like I don't know. I think I don't really let my guard down around people in public. I just
Yeah, I guess I don't either. I just feel like
don't, especially if the kids are with us. I will say that I feel a lot better living somewhere that there are not as many schizophrenic people surrounding me. I remember feeling very like on crazy alert, even just at a stoplight, because
In LA.
because there would be people like yelling or approaching your car or like screaming at a car or whatever it may be, because they're sick and they don't see what we see. And so I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that. And like, I'm grateful that that's not my everyday right now. Like, I'm grateful that that's not the roads that I drive on. But I'm also grateful that those were roads I grew up on, because I know how to handle those situations. I know how to potentially, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't scare me maybe as if someone that wasn't around that as much.
Yeah.
Not that it's normal for me. It's more like, all right, dude, like, okay, just keep it moving.
I wanna stay on this topic, but kind of shift gears for a second and ask you about dating when you were single. In regards to like safety and like being a woman. Because I feel like that's a situation where, again, just because you go out on a date with somebody under the premise of like, okay, we're going on a date, like whether it was like you matched on a dating app, it's like, okay, we've both expressed that we're like physically attracted to each other. Let's see if, and okay, you texted kind of cute and I gave you a chance, so let's go out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's say like us, for example. I mean, that's literally how we met. I just described us. We met on a dating app. We texted a little bit. We did the whole thing. And we met on Bumble. And we actually, fun story, we matched and then kind of communicated, not very regularly, but for the course of an entire year before we ever actually went on a date.
Yeah.
And I stuck with it. I went on a trip to Europe with a girl who was a friend, and Marlene saw photos and was like, oh, hell no. Who's this girl? And so she hit me up, and then long story short, we went on our first date, and we've been together ever since.
Yes.
So we went on a date. You're going on a date with a man who you don't know at all.
Yeah.
You think he's cute. You think he seems nice.
Yeah.
He's got good chat, right? But you don't know anything about him for the most part.
Yeah.
He even invited you back to his house on the first date, and you went?
No.
Yes, you did.
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But you didn't know me. That's what I'm saying. I know that you were like, oh, he seems harmless, or like he seems nice. He's saying all the right things, whatever. But that doesn't mean anything, you know.
That is true.
And so I'm just kind of curious, like, how a woman, kind of handles those situations, and like, are you constantly like, what are you looking for? What kind of red flags do you see where you're like, oh hell no, I do not want to be alone with this person?
Like asshole behavior, immediate like sexual conversations.
Okay.
Depending on kind of like, you can always like suss it out by like certain things. You can tell if someone is something that you're like, it's a little fishy, and there is a reason that women have this thing called a gut, and
we have that too.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting.
And you gotta trust it,
because women, we follow our gut, and you should. Your gut always tells you what's right and what's wrong. You can feel it, and I feel that if you don't, you have to learn how to know that gut to be able to suss it out. But you're always telling your best friend, or like whoever your girl is, you're saying, hey, I'm meeting up with this guy. Here's their name. Here's their number.
Did you do that for me?
Yeah.
Nice.
When we were going to your house, got your address, texted it to Kayla.
Okay.
To make sure that like someone has the address to where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, anticipating like, hey, I know we have the birthday party tonight, so like I'll be there, like, making sure that there's always the follow-up for someone to know that I'm supposed to be back.
Like if you don't show up or they don't hear from you, like something might be up.
Yeah, or exactly. But that's a situation with you, right? Like if we go back to the situations when I've met guys at bars, and I've met guys like out and about, like not through.
Yeah, you know nothing. You don't
like
have
I literally know
you don't have an Instagram profile or a
dating
profile. You got nothing.
Yeah.
They could give you a fake name, like you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could, but I don't know. To be honest with you, like, I've never really been put in a bad situation with a guy that I've met out. I've always been very aware. And I also like, I think you know me, like I don't fuck around. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't put up with bullshit. I call bullshit out on bullshit. And sometimes men found that really attractive, and some men that was like a little too much for them. So like it would never, like conversation would never continue.
Yeah.
I also would never go to a man's house, like no meeting them that night by myself.
Yeah.
Like if I was going with some friends or we were all going to an after party or whatever, then like, yeah, sure. But I was never really put in a bad situation. But I always carried myself with really high standards. And I don't know if that's maybe it, because I've been told a lot of times by guys that I'm very intimidating because, I don't know, I know my worth. I'm confused by why men feel like being confident is a level of intimidation. So maybe that's why I never had to be like put in really bad situations. Now I've been in situations, but never like because I put myself there.
I remember one time, me and a couple of guy friends went to Bungalow in Santa Monica, really trendy bar where we always joke. Like,
I don't even know if it's still trendy.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but it was this bar in Santa Monica in Los Angeles that was like we always joked. It was like there was never an unattractive person at Bungalow.
No,
it was
like
male and female,
yeah, it
just
was
like the
always,
prettiest people you've ever
you
seen.
You knew that every time you went, you were going to run into someone from The Bachelor or The
Right.
Bachelorette. It was like their hub
And it was just
of
gonna
a
be
bar.
like we were like, let's go. Like there's gonna be like 100 pretty girls
Yeah,
there. Like
yeah.
someone's bound to be single.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I went to the Bungalow, and I this was the only time I'd ever had like a one night stand. And I don't mean to give too much information because like we kissed. That was it. It was
Babe,
a
I don't
respectful
care.
situation. No, I'm not gonna tell you stories about like TMI type stuff. But
But you have before. Who cares?
long story short,
All right.
I met this girl at Bungalow.
Yeah.
Never met her before in my
Okay.
life. Was chatted up, have a good time. We're hanging out. She was there with some friends. I was there with friends. And then I somehow was like, let's go back to my house. And she was like, all right. And we got in a cab, and I remember her friends were like, what the hell are you doing? You don't even know this person. They were like trying to convince her not to. And I was like, I swear it's good. Like, of course I'm trying to be, I'm like, it's cool. Like she's safe, I promise. And they're like, we don't know you. Like they were like, no. And I was like, I totally
Those
get
are
it.
good friends.
They were,
Those
they
are
really
very
were.
good friends.
But she was like, no, it's cool, guys. Like I got this. And like we went back to my house again, like smooched maybe, and that was it. But I remember like getting to my house, and that was the first and only time I'd ever done that. And I remember getting to my house being like, you're crazy. Like, you don't know me at all. Like, thank God I am not like a weirdo.
Yeah, but
You know
I
what I-
have friends that has plenty of one night stands, and
and
like
I'm sure
would
they-
go to guys' houses, and we just share location and like see you in the morning.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm
you
sure
know,
a lot of
like-
them, most of them probably end fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Or some of them end in a situation where I didn't want to have sex, but then I ended up having sex, and like whatever. Like not me. I mean, my
I was
my
like,
friends.
what? That doesn't sound like you at all.
No, my friends. So I think more importantly, as a girl, when you're out, it's mostly like you have to think about like your drinks getting roofie.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think
Stuff
like
like that.
nothing that we said in this episode is like a shock to women, unfortunately. But I was hoping that, you know, if there are men watching this, that maybe this could be just like a little bit of an eye-opening experience to hear from a female's perspective, to be like, yeah, like we have to deal with certain things that you don't. And that's, you know, having like a primarily female audience is hard because I feel like I'm sort of preaching these new discoveries, and
Yeah.
women are like, yeah, duh, welcome to our lives. Like we've been going through this our entire life. And
Like
so
when we were watching Love is Blind, and you're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, babe, like that's normal.
yeah, this is just how
Guy leading a girl on.
it's
a
just
guy
how guys-
lying,
yeah.
A guy like saying he likes you and then turns around and is talking to the girl that is someone else, and then comes back and acts like everything's okay, but somehow they have to spin it to make it your fault, and it's like
wow.
welcome. I mean, now
Welcome
I'm-
to the female experience.
But you know, at least on the dating front, now I'm married, so like I don't really have to worry about.
No, we
any
don't
of
got to
that
worry about
BS.
any of that for another,
Ugh,
like, hopefully
thank
14 years or
goodness.
so.
That was just a doozy.
Yeah, I don't look forward to doing that with our kiddos. But anyway, I thought it'd be fun to dive in, get
Yeah.
a female's perspective on the whole thing, share my story of like, I'm just realizing that women don't feel safe around men sometimes. And I don't say any of this
Really
to try to
sad.
be like I know that there's probably men that like check out my Instagram and are like, oh, this guy just hates on men and he's a simp and he's a whatever. But like, I don't necessarily have any allegiance to like. I don't just blindly pledge allegiance to men because we like share the same chromosomes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh yeah, you're a guy, I'm a guy. So what? No, I don't do bro code. Like I'm not gonna like out.
Whoa.
No, I'm not gonna like out some dude for the fun of it. But I'm also not gonna I'm not gonna lie to your wife or your girlfriend for you. Because like because you're a guy and I'm a guy. Like if you're out cheating on your wife and I'm there, like we ain't homies. Like we're not friends. I don't hang out with people like that. You know what I mean?
I feel like this is totally a part 2 of like having a conversation about being with other people while they're they're with someone and they're maybe
I haven't been in that situation in so long because I just don't surround myself with people that would even come close to doing that.
Yeah.
You said that. Do I? You said yeah, like that wasn't true.
I'm thinking.
Oh, I don't
think so.
No.
No.
I don't bang with guys like that.
No. And I was just thinking of if I have any girlfriends, and I'm like, no, I don't have any girlfriends that do that either.
No, we don't hang out with cheaters. Don't do
that.
that. Don't do that.
I used to.
Anyway, if you enjoyed it, the show, subscribe, check it out. We got more. We dropped. Was it? I thought.
I don't know. It felt a little heavy.
That's okay. They're not always gonna be funny. Sometimes we just talk about real shit.
Life
But
ain't
we
always
drop an episode every Tuesday and Thursday, twice a week, double dip. So we raise it up twice a week. So subscribe, like, comment, share, do the whole thing. Say what's up. And until then, peace.
Bye.